Boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Bet the Over. In our last episode, we recorded top five Giants free agents that I think they should re-sign who are currently on the team. Now we'll be getting into top five free agents for the Giants to target. So the guys that are currently free agents that are on the Giants, we already broke that down. So now we're breaking down teams, other players that we could target from different teams. So let's get right into it. First free agent I think the Giants should target is kind of a default one. You guys have probably all heard it. It is Tyler Lindenbaum, center, coming over from the Baltimore Ravens. In Linderbaum, you got a young center. He's only 25 years old. He has a PFF grade of 80.3, ranking him fifth out of 40 centers in the league. So, giving a little breakdown of him, I have a couple of notes. Amazing run blocker who really moves the line of scrimmage and is also a great pass protector. He'd be a perfect fit for the Giants, who offensive line showed major improvements this year and could become an even stronger unit with Linderbaum anchoring the middle. However, being this young and highly talented comes at a price. His expected annual salary, according to Sports Track, is around 18 to 20 million dollars, which would make him one of the highest paid center in the league. Um, so, like I said, it comes with a price. He's young, he's amazing, and the other factor that a lot of people are tying together is that his former head coach is the current head coach of the Giants in John Harbaugh. So it makes perfect sense. He understands the system. You know what type of player you're getting with that. Wow, that was a bad stutter. Um, and John Harbaugh might be able to pull a couple of strings, maybe get a better deal on it. We shall see. So Linderbaum would be a great pickup for the team. And also moving forward, I'm not saying the Giants can get all of these guys. I'm saying these are just guys they can target. I know there's a cap. They can't get all of the guys that I'm bringing up unless they somehow manage to clear a significant amount of cap, which they actually can do if they cut a couple players like Bobby Okereke. I know if they restructured Dexter Lawrence and Andrew Thomas, they could free up a lot of money. But like I said, they can't sign all these people. So the next guy I think they should look to sign is Isaac Samalu. Um, I think that's how you say his name. He's guard for the Steelers, coming over from the Steelers. He's 32 years old. He had an overall PFF grade of 74.8, ranking him 12 out of 81 guards in the league. Siu Malu is one of the best pass blocking guards in the league. His run blocking isn't far behind, similar to Linderbaum. I think the G men should continue building up this offensive line. Like I said, it's the best they've been in 5 years. So I think they should continue to build it. Simalo is a bit older. So um, you would likely have to, you wouldn't have to pay him to be a top five guard like Linderbaum would get. He would be paid a top five center at least. But he's still one of the best guards in the league. He's expected to command around $10 million per year, which is strong value for his level of play. It's going to be interesting to see what the Giants do because they do have Greg Van Roten, who was a pretty solid guard. I think Samalo is a little bit better, but if they let Greg Van Roten leave, then this is definitely one player I think they could look to sign to replace him. And I think they would be of similar value. Maybe Greg Van Roten would be a little bit cheaper just because he is older than him, but he's an upgrade. So it's definitely something you could look into. Next guy we got on our list, this is also a pretty popular one, is Alec Pierce, wide receiver for the Colts. He's 25 years old, PFF grade of 79.3, and he ranks 19 out of 81 wide receivers. Similar to the GVR Greg Van Roten situation, if the Giants end up not signing Wandale Robinson, Pierce can be an interesting option. Pierce is more of a deep ball guy. He had like the most yards per reception and average depth of target, which caught me off by surprise. That's according to PFF as well. So more of a deep ball guy. He showed improvement in route running, but he's mostly just an outside guy that can take the top off of defense. He gives you more outside or inside versatility as opposed to Wandale. Wandale's strictly slot because he's a bit smaller. So Pierce is a little bit more expensive if you were to go this route. He's only 25 years old. Wandale, I think, is 26, so similar age. He's expected to command about $20 million. Pierce is, and then Wandale Robinson is expected to command 17.6. So they're similarly priced. It's kind of whoever you think would benefit the team more. Do you want more of a slot guy that can work the middle of the field and get open with some rack ability in Wandale Robinson? Or are you looking for more of a deep ball field stretcher type of wide receiver that's a bit taller in Alec Pierce and a true outside guy? Next guy we're going to talk about is Montarik Brown, cornerback. If I'm pronouncing these guys' names wrong, I'm sorry. But I think that's how you say it. Montarik Brown, cornerback, Jaguars, 26 years old, PFF grade is 72.8, ranking him 21 out of 144 corners. So not too shabby. Brown is an outstanding cover corner who is very sticky in coverage. Took a big step forward with the Jags this year, but the Jags defense in general was just a lot better than a lot of people expected. Liam Cohen really cooked. So a lot of people could argue that maybe his production came from the pass rush. He could be viewed as a cheaper alternative to Cordell Flott, but he is 2 years older than Cordell Flott. So long term, it might be more intriguing to sign Flott over Brown, but Brown is a better player as of right now. And I know with John Harbaugh under helm, you're kind of expecting the Giants, the whole team, to take a step forward. Flott's AAV, average annual value, is 9.5, while Brown is 9.2. So you're saving $300,000 signing Brown over Flott, but you're losing 2 years worth of play potentially at cornerback. So a lot of these players, as you can tell, it's just depending on what the Giants do with their current free agents. If they let one wide receiver in Wandale walk, they might target Pierce. If they let their corner walk, they're going to target a corner. You got to fill in the holes. Next guy on this list is actually a player I wanted the Giants to draft in Leo Chanel, linebacker coming over from the Kansas City Chiefs. He's younger as well. He's only 25 years old with a PFF rating of 75.1, ranking him 18th out of 88 linebackers in the league. So not too bad. Chanel was an intriguing prospect that I wanted the Giants to draft back in 2022. Now that he's a free agent, I think he would be an amazing fit for this defense. With speculations of the Giants moving on from Bobby Okereke, it's a lot of speculation, but Bobby Okereke is getting paid $10 million per year. So if they were to cut him and go the Leo Chanel route, they'd be getting younger and potentially better at linebacking backer, which makes a lot of sense. Chanel is projected to earn around $4.6 million, which would be a great value because he's ranked like top 20 linebackers in the league. Meanwhile, Bobby Okereke is like the bottom half of the league, and you're paying him half the price of Bobby Okereke. You could literally sign Leo Chanel and Micah McFadden, and you'd still be paying less to your one linebacker. If you're paying less to them combined than paying Bobby Okereke, who is a worse player than both of them and older. So that's definitely something I think the Giants should look into. That's the top 5 guys. I also have like an honorable mention list. So another guy a lot of people are speculating to come over from Baltimore is Isaiah Likely. He's familiar with John Harbaugh, as we all know, but he would be expensive, and tight end isn't necessarily the most important position for the Giants. Daniel Bellinger is a free agent this year, so we got to see what happens with him. Isaiah Likely would be the best tight end on this team, no question about that, but he's, I think, only 25 years old, and he would be quite expensive for a position that's not necessarily the most important. I think there's different, more important holes on this team that they should fill in a different way. Next guy I have is also, sorry, I'm just double checking I got everyone. Look, Pierce. Yeah. Okay. Next guy the Giants could sign is Daniel Falele, former Ravens guard. All the players on the Ravens that are free agents makes it's a perfect match to come over to the Giants because they know the head coach, they know what they're getting into. So any sort of Ravens player that's a free agent is speculated to come to the Giants. They obviously cannot sign all these guys, but he could be someone to look for if they don't end up signing Greg Van Roten. He's familiar with John Harbaugh. He's not as good as Van Roten. I think they're kind of similar stats, but I think Falele is a bit younger, so you have that. Next guy, you got Roy Lopez. He's a defensive lineman. He The Giants need help stopping the run. They had one of the worst run defenses in the league. He was ranked 18 out of 134 defensive linemen in run defense. So Lopez could be a great addition to this team. You have Dexter Lawrence, who is good at run defense. Darius Alexander's he's working on it. He did show improvement at the end of this year. You want to continue to develop him, but the Giants really need a true DT to stop the run. Like, they were getting gashed. It also didn't help that their linebacker play wasn't the best, and their corners and safeties weren't necessarily coming up and making tackles. But Roy Lopez could be a great signing. He's not super expensive. And then the last guy on this list that I think the Giants could use is a wide receiver too. So this guy, Jalen Naylor, wide receiver, Minnesota Vikings. He could be that outside guy. I really liked him. I feel like he didn't necessarily have the best stats per se because he's playing in a wide receiver room with Addison and Jefferson and also TJ Hawkinson. Like, the Minnesota Vikings just have so many weapons that it's kind of hard to get him the ball. But I think he could be a good wide receiver too. Um, if the Giants end up not really addressing wide receiver in the draft and they let Wandale walk, he could be an intriguing prospect. He'd be cheaper than Wandale. And then in the draft, I mean, it's speculated they might go Carnell Tate at pick 5. It's also Caleb Downs. You really got to see um, free agencies first. So you're obviously going to know what positions you need going into the draft, but could be an interesting prospect for the Giants. So that's really it for this episode. Obviously, the Giants could use the top guys in the league. They could use Hendrickson. They could use all these amazing prospects, but these are the guys I think would probably make the most sense if they don't end up signing some of their own free agents. And also, these guys, a lot of them have ties to John Harbaugh because a lot of them are Ravens players. And you overall just want to build this team up. This team, I think, they have potential to really take a step forward next year. We all know they got their head coach. They signed all their coordinators. Now it's kind of just filling the holes. Every game, the Giants felt like they were in it. They would just blow late in the game. So they're pretty close. And if you look at the teams that were in the playoffs this year, Seattle versus the Patriots, neither one of those teams were necessarily top teams last year. They all had a great offseason. The Patriots signed a great head coach and Mike Vrabel, ended up going to the Super Bowl. The Giants, people are speculating, could have that type of turnaround. Now, it all starts now. This is when you start creating a culture and building the team for next year. If you have a great offseason, you can literally secure yourself 4 more wins just by signing 2, 3 great players. So, like I said, we got to stay on top of everything. This is a very important offseason for the Giants, and I'm really excited to see what type of moves they make. I want to see if John Harbaugh is going to spend a lot and really go out and get his guys, or if he's going to be a little more passive this year, maybe saving some of that cap for next year. So, thanks for tuning in, guys. Comment down below if there's someone else you think the Giants should really target in free agency, and like, comment, subscribe, and remember, bet the over.